Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back for another week of Just a Fan podcast. Before we introduce ourselves, I just want to remind y'all to please, if you're on the YouTube side, please hit the like button, share this content with everybody. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to us and hit the notification bell to all so that way you can see when we go live like we are right now. If you're on the Facebook side, please hit the like button or you can hit the love button. And still please share this to everybody you know. Okay. Twitch. We are live on Twitch. I don't know what Twitch look like for from the guest side, so I have no idea. But if if you can like it, please like it and please share as well. Okay. Appreciate everybody that's here with us tonight. That will be coming to join us shortly. Okay. I am Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia. As it says on my underneath my name, write brick on my brick. Okay. That means the price of the brick is going up. Okay. And I'm referencing this to my Dallas Cowboys, who are picking ninth overall right now. Now, as of right now. Now, we'll see how it goes for the rest of the season. I'm sure they're going to lose the rest of their games. And as they continue to move up in the draft order, and, as you get closer to the draft, the price of the brick goes up. Okay? Donald, what's up, man? How you doing?
What up, Don?
Cleveland, what's up, man? How you doing?
Cleve, what's up, man? You doing all right? Saw about your car wreck, man.
Oh, man, I'm sorry about that. Hopefully, everything's okay. That direction, panel 316, and he has a special message for everybody.
It's Shanahan's fault.
That's right. Everything is Shanahan's fault. Cleveland, that's good news, man. I like that. Okay. But yes.
Hey, Cleve, that was Kyle Shanahan driving that car that hit you, wasn't it? I bet you. It was Kyle Shanahan.
So I want everybody to understand that no matter what goes wrong for you in life right now, it is Kyle Shanahan's fault, okay?
Yes, I'm doing it.
Okay? Because
that's right, Twan.
That's right, Twan. Thank you so very much, and welcome, sir. But just remember, so right now I got a storm going on above me right now. It's Kyle Shanahan's fault. Okay,
he did something to my God, man.
There was a tornado earlier that was a water spout that went on land in the state of Washington. Kyle Shanahan's
He did
fault.
something to make the Lord mad. That's what he did. That's Kyle Shanahan. He made the fans mad. He said, "I ain't stopping from there. If I ain't stopping now, I'm gonna make everybody mad. I'm gonna make God mad. Well, hold on, watch me work." That's Kyle Shanahan.
If you got a flat tire,
Kyle Shanahan stand up there with a nail like this.
If you spilled your coffee,
hey, Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan did it. If you get caught in traffic, and you don't normally get caught in traffic on the way to work, it was Kyle Shanahan. It's Kyle Shanahan. What up, E?
What up, E? So yeah. And so anyway, speaking of Kyle Shanahan, let's go ahead and segue into that now. Let's talk about the San Francisco 49ers, who is struggling this season, and a lot of it is injuries. And Tristan, who's not on here right now, but he did bring up a good question.
The answer is Kyle Shanahan's fault. It's Kyle Shanahan's fault.
The question is, and I'm going to ask it now. For the 49ers, has the window closed on them?
All right, so I'm going to answer that question. For this year, yes. Effectively, the season is over. They're not mathematically eliminated, but let's keep it a buck. If you can't beat bad teams, you can't beat good ones. Okay? Seattle is a JV squad, and the Niners lost. See, he understands. The Niners lost to Seattle. They let Geno Smith run into their end zone in their stadium and do the night-night sign like he been owning the Niners. Son, you ain't beat the Niners in 3.5 years. In fact, 1 year, the Niners actually beat you 3 times in a row. Both divisional games and the playoffs. I'm going to say it like I always say. I've had a broken watch one time, and it was right twice a day. So, no, you're not that dude, Geno Smith, okay? Let's just go ahead and pump our brakes on that. Your team is trash. And I'm not here to talk about or bash the Seattle Seahawks. I'm not here for that, okay? I'm here to talk about the ineptitude and bad coaching of the San Francisco 49ers. But to answer your question before I go on any further, no, the window is not closed. Is the crack small? Yes, it's barely cracked open. But is it closed? No. This year right here, oh, it's over. They cooked. For real. Short of a miracle.
Natty, what's up, boy? I'm sorry, E. I'm sorry. Look who jumped on today.
To the Commanders.
My boy Natty is on, man. What's up, boy?
Looking good, man. They look good. Yeah, they look good. We'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, basically, I won't take up too much time on this topic. Kyle is getting to a point where Kyle Shanahan, and those of us who know, has a problem with closing out games that his team has an effective lead in. He has been doing this since before he was in San Francisco. The Super Bowl with Atlanta and New England. All you got to do is run the ball. At that time, you had Tevin Coleman and who's the other running back in Atlanta? Slips my mind just because I was talking about it. But
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
My point is that you're throwing it all over You're throwing it all over the yard. When you have the lead, you have the ball, it's late in the game, and you don't want to run the ball. Second thing, he was doing that in Super Bowls and big games, and we just kind of let it ride because we were like, well, hey, man, that's Tom Brady. Or we said, hey, man, that's Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. We're going to let that ride. Because he did it twice, by the way. He did it twice against the same opponent in 2 Super Bowls. Then he turned around and did it in the NFC Championship against the Rams. It's like you go against conventional wisdom all the time. So in this game, they're playing a vastly inferior opponent. How do I know they're vastly inferior? Because the Niners went to Seattle a few weeks ago and beat the brakes off of them. So this is a vastly inferior team that you allowed to get the ball back with less than 3 minutes in the game. There was 4 minutes. It was less than 4 minutes when the San Fran had their last possession. What does he do? He started off right. It was a good idea to run the ball, but why are you running the ball with Christian McCaffrey, who has already had 20 touches in this game prior to that drive and was on his second game back after missing all of training camp and half of the season with tendonitis? He played as best he could in that game, but guess what? You got a guy in Jordan Mason sitting on the bench who averages 5.3 yards a carry, career. Not that game, not this season, his career. He's never gone below 5 yards a carry. That's a closer. Why are you not playing him? No, I'm going to run Christian McCaffrey. Not only am I going to run Christian McCaffrey, I'm going to run him wide. He's already gassed. He's sucking out. I'm going to run him wide. I'm not coming downhill like I should with my other back. You spent a 4th-round draft pick on Isaac Guerendo. Big 240-pound running back, runs a 4.3, has proven himself over previous years while we're waiting for McCaffrey to come back.
That's crazy.
This guy got no carries in the game.
That's crazy what you just said.
Yeah. And then people who are laymen who don't really pay. What?
I'm sorry.
People who are laymen who don't.
Go ahead. Finish up. I'm sorry.
People who are laymen and don't really pay attention to football, they want to blame it on the defense. Poppycock. The defense got to stop on Seattle on 4th down and got the ball back for them. They did their job in the 4th quarter. Okay? Nick Bosa goes out of the game with that hip flexor oblique injury. Geno Smith decides he's going to run all over the place because containment has been broken. That's how they won the game. But guess what? We would not be in this situation if Kyle Shanahan knew how to ice games away in the 4th quarter. The Niners have lost 3 divisional games. 3 divisional games. Seahawks, Rams, and Cardinals. All of them by losing the lead in the 4th quarter when the team had a lead. It's Shanahan's fault. For that reason, the Super Bowl window this year is closed. Because not only is Shanahan stupid for doing that, but he's also arrogant and carries so much hubris that he doesn't think what he's doing is wrong. That's the issue. Like most coaches, like, you know what? There's a pattern here, and I need to break this pattern. Good coaches do that. Kyle Shanahan does not do that. He thinks there's nothing wrong with his play calling. He thinks there's nothing wrong with his situational awareness. And bottom line, Niners fans are upset, and we pissed off, and we fed up. A year ago, I'd have been like, well, who are we going to get that, that's going to be as good as Kyle Shanahan? There are people that are emerging every day. Ben Johnson is a front runner. So, like, here's the thing. Let's be real. He's not going to get fired. He's not going to get fired. Even when the Niners missed the playoffs this year, he's not going to get fired. He's going to say, well, I had a bunch of injuries. And he's going to whine and cry about injuries to Jed York, and they're going to let him stay. So, Niners fans are in coaching purgatory right now, simply because of Kyle Shanahan's ineptitude late in games when he has command of the games. It's not, hey man, I gotta draw up a good scheme because we're behind and we got to get back into the game and all of that. It's not any of that. It's not any of that. It's literally, hey, I got the lead. It's 4th quarter, but I'm gonna squander it. That's what it is, and it's terrible. Now, again, there are coaches that will never have a lead. Those guys deserve to be fired too. But Shanahan, it was kind of okay when he was doing it against good teams. Now he's doing it against trash teams. Devontae Freeman, thank you, Twan. Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman hardly got any carries, any touches late in that Super Bowl. They could have iced that game away. Brady would have never came back in that because you keeping him on the sideline.
Exactly.
You keeping him on the sideline. So Shanahan, this is your fault. And my internet's acting up. You know whose fault it is? Kyle Shanahan.
So, first of all, it's crazy that you said that you have a 240-pound running back that runs a 4.3. Like, I would love to have that on my team.
Yeah.
But you're right. The window is closed this year, especially when you got teams like Arizona perform the way they are, Washington, Philadelphia, Detroit, Green Bay. Like, those teams are performing well in Minnesota. However, the window is not shut long term because a lot of teams that I just mentioned outside of Detroit, this is really their first year of performing as well as they are. Like, Arizona wasn't really that much. Wasn't much of anything before this season. Okay. Same with Washington. Yeah, I know Philadelphia went to the Super Bowl, but I still got an asterisk next to that season. Okay, that's just my personal opinion. Whatever. And Minnesota, this is the best season in a while. So I need to see more than one season, and I also need to see more than one season of San Francisco struggling like this before I can sit here and truly say that San Francisco's window is shut. So, like you said, this year, sure, the window's shut. Moving forward, I need to see. I can't say nothing right now. Way too early. Way too early to say the window's shut. But also, it's a problem when Kyle Shanahan can't close the game out. And it's not a one time thing. It's not a one season thing. This thing has been going back since that Atlanta Super Bowl loss.
It's not a one off. It's not an outlier. This is
exactly.
This is what he does. And it's like, and I'm going to just tell you like this. If you're a Niners fan and you're like, well, no, you're not paying attention at all. Honestly, you're really not paying attention. You're not. There's so many games that the 49ers should have won, but didn't because of Kyle Shanahan's inability to close out games or just follow conventional wisdom. He is the kid, and I was telling one of my best friends this because he's a Niners fan as well. Shout out Mike Guillory. He is the dumbest smart kid in the class. That's the way you put it. Like you give him this big trigonometry equation, he can go up to the chalkboard with a piece of chalk, write out that whole equation, and give you the answer in his head. But if you ask him what 2 + 2 is, he will say chair. 3 + 2 = banana. That's the type of stuff that Kyle Shanahan does. The simplest, most common sense things he's lacking in. And that's been his problem. Can he design and draw some plays? Absolutely. Does he know when to call them? Absolutely not. The league is starting to catch up with him. Like, for example, I'm going to give you just one example. People who not really paying attention saying Deebo Samuel is washed. Deebo Samuel is not washed. It's just the play designs that Kyle Shanahan has for him. Ray Charles can see him coming. Stevie Wonder, Clarence Carter, all of them can see them play. Deebo about to get the ball. It's about to be a jet sweep this way. There's 4 guys waiting for him behind line of scrimmage before he can get around the corner. Deebo's in the backfield. Obviously, he's about to get the ball. They crash the line of scrimmage. Deebo might get a yard. And, Deebo's washed. No, he's not. He's not being used effectively. If you took that same roster that the 49ers have with a more capable play caller, situational, that's the operative word, situational play caller, they would probably be, I'm going to say probably 8-2 right now.
You know what?
They probably 8-2 right now.
That's stuff you're talking about Deebo Samuel getting contained because everybody knows he's getting the football.
Everybody knows.
The problem is, and like you said, it's not Deebo. The problem, like you said, is Kyle Shanahan because, like you said, one, everybody sees it coming, but 2, you got to build a counter off of that.
Yeah.
You have to build a counter off of that.
There's no counter off of it. It's just we going this way.
And really, and I'm sure there's way more counters than I'm about to mention. You can fake the ball to Deebo and do a misdirection the opposite way of the way he's running, or 2, you do a play action off of it, or you can set up an RPO off of it. But there's so many ways to counter that.
It's just the thing is that the league is catching up with Kyle Shanahan or has caught up with Kyle Shanahan. And the things that worked in 2020 and 2021 are not working in 2024. And he has to be more imaginative. And then even then, when he does get a lead, he has to know how to protect it. Because it's called complementary football. People always be, the defense, the defense. That's an administrative thing. I'm not even going to go in there. Nick Sorensen should not be the defensive coordinator for the 49ers in his rookie season as a DC. You do not belong being the DC, and it's your first year of a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. If we started from scratch, prime example, let's say Daboll gets fired in New York, which we're going to get to in a minute. Let's say Daboll gets fired in New York. Okay. And they drafted in the top 5, which they probably will. And you pretty much like rebuilding that program from scratch. That's a good job for Nick Sorensen as a defensive coordinator. You do not put a rookie defensive coordinator over a defense that has Super Bowl aspirations. Now, I blame that one right there on John Lynch. Or I blame it on guess who?
Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan for choosing that. For running off Steve Wilks and scapegoating Steve Wilks in that Super Bowl. All the defense lost the Super Bowl. You a damn lie. They held Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs under 6 points for 3.5 quarters. Come on. You're not going to blame that man for that. You're not going to blame the defense for that. Your ineptitude is the reason why the Niners lost Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan. It's your fault.
There you go.
And I'm done. I'm going to step down out the pulpit and y'all can pass the collection plate around to put Kyle Shanahan in handcuffs collection. So move on. Let's move on to the next topic. Speaking of dumb people.
Dumb people. Listen, I like being a Cowboys fan, but this is the part I hate about being a Cowboys fan because everybody always got to talk about us, no matter what. But Michael Parsons decided to run his mouth on his podcast, which I'm against active football players having a podcast. Glad I'm not coaching a team in the NFL because nobody active will have a podcast or any of this stuff. Anyway, and he says something to Trayvon Diggs, and Diggs agreed with him about the defense not being that bad and the team not being that bad, despite the way how they were losing to the Houston Texans and stuff. And I don't know, man. At some point, you need to keep your mouth shut. Okay? You guys know for a fact that y'all have quit on Mike McCarthy. I've said that since the loss to Detroit. You can try to spin it any way you want to. Everybody in that organization can try to spin it any way they want to. But the reality is that everybody has quit on McCarthy. McCarthy's contract is going to run out after the season, and then we move on. But y'all know deep down in your hearts and in your soul that you have quit on Mike McCarthy. I have told everybody that. If you've been on this channel, if you've been watching this channel, I've told people that in private. I've told people at work. I've told Natty, who's I'm assuming is still on. I've told him in private. The Cowboys have quit on Mike McCarthy. So stop trying to spin it any old way you want to. Shut up and just finish the rest of the season because you guys are wishing for the season to be over with.
That man went on a podcast, a nationally syndicated podcast that's a bigger platform than ours, and fixed his mouth to say, we got a damn good football team, quote unquote, after being literally embarrassed, crushed in your backyard for the last 6 home games by 20 points or more every game. He fixed his mouth. Right then, if I am the NFL, Brandon, I'm calling him in for mandatory drug testing. Mandatory. No. You finna pee in this cup. You said y'all what? Y'all what? Yeah, because that last drive, what happened during the first 3 quarters, man? You a damn good defense. The delusion is real. And present company excluded, that's how most Cowboy fans are. They have this mentality like there's still some people that feel like they can turn the season around at 3-7 that are Cowboy fans. There's still people like that. There's still people who are Cowboy fans that are talking noise to teams that have a better record than them or have beaten them. At this point, shut up. But how can you shut up if you're a fan? Again, like I said, present company excluded because Brandon, you my brother, and you got some sense. But how can you be quiet as a delusional Cowboys fan if you got the quote unquote leader of your defense sitting next to one of your other leaders of your defense saying we got a damn good team?
That's the problem. I think I said last week, I don't forgot what I said when I said it. Maybe I didn't say it on here. But we don't have leadership on this team.
It's no at all. At all.
We don't have leadership on this team.
Because at this point,
we can say Parsons and Diggs are leaders on defense because they've been the best players recently.
Notice the air quotes.
But it's not so much of, yeah, we are really truly leaders. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because leaders, one, don't say that. Two, don't allow a lot of nonsense to happen on the team. And three, they know how to rally the team when they are down. I'm not talking about this season. I'm just talking about just in general. Okay? They keep the team going. They know how and when to keep the team going during the games so that way they can come out victorious. When you have true veteran leaders, that's one of the reasons why New England was able to win so many games and win so many Super Bowls was because of the amount of leaders they had.
Nobody had a podcast.
Okay? Huh?
I said nobody had a podcast.
Well, Bill Belichick wasn't allowed none of that nonsense.
Hey, come on.
I'm just saying.
That's what I'm talking about.
But see, now that leadership falls on McCarthy, who
absolutely,
unfortunately, has not really had too much respect around the league.
And he hasn't been respected around the league, and he's not. Thank you, Rich Davis. No accountability on the field or locker room. But here's another caveat to that. The team, like you said, Brandon, the team knows that he's a lame duck coach. So ain't nobody finna, if he coming in, hey, y'all need to stop all this. You do they're gonna be like, man, get out of here. It's kind of like when the kids act up when the substitute teacher in the room. They literally are treating Mike McCarthy like a substitute teacher. Hell, he coached like a substitute teacher. So I mean, that's part of it. But here's the big thing, and I know you're gonna agree with what I'm about to say. Attitude reflects leadership, and the leadership starts at the top. And it's Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Is Jerry need to go sit his old decrepit behind down somewhere? And it started with the we all in. Did not go get a running back. And as of right now, the Cowboys are 31st again.
Hold on, time out. He went to go get a running back. It just wasn't the right running back.
There you go. But the Cowboys are 31st in rushing in the league. They can't run.
And a lot of that is on the lack of running, but it's also not having what is the phrase I used before? Not foundation. Identity.
Because the identity of the Cowboys, they went into the season with the identity being Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. That was it. And you can't win a Super Bowl. You can't win a NFC championship. You can't get past the divisional round. You can't win your division with the identity of the team just being Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. That does not work.
And listen, I know you complain about Kyle Shanahan, and I get it, okay?
Oh, it's his fault.
No, I know, but listen, at least you have an identity. Everybody knows you're going to run outside zone.
This is true.
Now, he has different ways he may execute it, but he's going to run outside zone. Mm-hmm. So you have an identity. We don't have that. And I think I might have said last week on the podcast. Outside zone, inside zone, split zone, ISO, duo, counter, whatever. Get an identity in this run game. So that way, that is your one thing that everybody in the building knows is coming.
Right.
But no one can stop it.
Because you're gonna run actions off of that, or you're gonna counter that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Kyle Shanahan. It's still your fault.
So Dallas doesn't have an identity, and McCarthy is too old, has been in the league too long, not to know that, and I think that's a shame. And here I am, some little fourth year JV defensive line coach, and I know that.
I think Mike McCarthy, he doesn't suffer from it, but he should, and that's imposter syndrome. That's the feeling of when you are basically in help for a job, you feel like you shouldn't have that job, or you shouldn't be in a position that you're in because you're unqualified. He doesn't have it, but he needs it. He needs to have imposter syndrome, because the one thing that he hangs his hat on as a coach is going to a Super Bowl, but Aaron Rodgers was your quarterback. You didn't have to do a whole lot. So, there's that aspect of it. So Mike McCarthy is a problem, but he's not the problem. This is systemic from the top all the way down. And as much as I, have a disdain for the Dallas Cowboys, there's one guy that I really feel bad for, and that's CeeDee Lamb. I watched Cowboy games and watched CeeDee Lamb play with all his heart and all his vigor. And they managed, the camera always manages to find him in them last seconds of them fourth quarters when the Cowboys are down by 20 or more at CeeDee Lamb's face. And I actually feel for him, because he puts it all out there. The whole team has quit. Yeah, I agree with that, but we on that stuff. But the whole team has quit in Dallas, except for CeeDee Lamb. He's out there saying, you know what? You gave me this money. I'm going to show you I'm worth this money. And doesn't matter who the quarterback is, don't matter what the play is called. He plays with a tremendous amount of heart that I can never take from him. He plays like an all-pro, and he deserves his money. If anybody on that team deserves their money, it's CeeDee Lamb. So, but it's we kind of went off on a tangent, but the point is that Micah Parsons needs to just mute the mic, turn the game down. It's okay to have pride, because you're supposed to. You're a coach, you coach your players to have pride no matter what. Play with pride. But here's the thing: play with pride, have pride in your team. Believe that y'all a good team. There's nothing wrong with that. I want to be clear when I say that. The issue is, don't be up there puffing your chest out where everybody and their mama can hear you around the Twitter sphere and everywhere else talking about we got a damn good team. People are laughing at you right now, Micah Parsons. And if you notice, you go back and look at that clip. Trayvon Diggs just like this on the camera. He said, we got a damn good team. Trayvon Diggs was like, he was doing one of them. So, yeah, Trayvon Diggs ain't no, they not good. So it's got to be a complete overhaul. This is not fix this piece and that piece. It's got to be a complete culture change. And I know you know about culture, Brandon, because you're a coach. It's got to be a complete culture change from top to bottom in Arlington, Texas, before the Cowboys are going to be taken seriously. This game against Houston was probably one of their biggest games, simply because it was the battle of I-45. If you're from Texas, you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter if it's a preseason game. It doesn't matter if it's early in the season or late in the season. When Houston plays Dallas, and I said Houston, notice I didn't say the Texans, because this has been going on since the Oilers versus the Cowboys. When Houston plays Dallas, it's a big thing. It's a big game. Throw out the records. Throw out what time of the year that the game is played. They used to call it the Governor's Cup. Okay? It's a big game. And you mean to tell me they came all the way up I-45 to Arlington to play y'all and beat y'all by 20-some points? And it would have been worse because Houston was playing sloppy. They were trying their best to embarrass Dallas, and they were falling over their feet doing it. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. Way, 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 way worse. But Houston was really sloppy in that game and still won by 24. That is a testament to how bad the Dallas Cowboys are right now. And again, I'm not even finna sit up here and bash on them because my team is mediocre, right, this year. With literally the poster children for mediocrity, 5-5. But this is bad. Like, I don't know if Dallas can win another game this season. You know what? They play the Giants, so they might be able to pull that one out.
They actually might lose to the Giants and the Panthers this year.
And this is coming from a Cowboys fan. I was giving them those two games.
It would not surprise me.
I was gonna say 5 and whatever, but you heard it here first.
They might lose both of those games, and it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
speaking of Giants,
I was gonna say let's keep within the division. Giants. They have officially benched Daniel Jones, and I gotta say that this is long overdue. Should not have been drafted as high as he was. Should not have gotten the contract extension that he got.
He stole
that was Saquon Barkley's team on offense. And you see it in Philadelphia.
He got the money Saquon should have got. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Saquon could still be in New York and getting the money, or at least some of the money that they paid Daniel Jones.
And the rest of the money could have gone to some other players.
And they could have filled out that roster better.
Yeah, they could have.
Function.
They really, really could have. But and I said in the group chat, the Giants have not been the same since they fired Tom Coughlin.
Nope.
And they fired Tom Coughlin because of some offensive coordinator that was getting along with Eli Manning and making things happen offensively. And they wanted to make him the head coach. And they have not been the same since. They haven't.
But here's the funny thing. It's like, yes, Daniel Jones has been benched, but he wasn't just, they didn't say, hey, go sit on the bench, you the backup. No. Go sit way back there behind the bench. You the number 4 quarterback. That's how trash you are. We gonna promote 3 other guys and put you behind them.
They try to make sure you don't get hurt.
Yeah. Well,
they no. It's not just him. What you call it, being trash. It's also that if he gets injured, and I think if he's like knocked out of the season, then he has the money for 2025 is guaranteed. Fully guaranteed.
He definitely not gonna get hurt unless he fall off the bench.
Matter of fact, I would tell him to stay home and stay away from the facility. And if you get injured at home, that money is not guaranteed. It's on you.
You trip over the dog because you running in the, you stub your toe on the end of the bed and break it. Hey, that's you.
And it's Kyle Shanahan's fault.
And it's still Kyle Shanahan's fault because he moved the furniture. So, yeah. But, yeah, Daniel Jones, this is long overdue.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the fact that the New York Giants went into the season, first of all, excommunicating one of the best running backs in the league, which was the highlight of your offense. Okay, everybody could see that. Your division rivals could see it. The rest of your conference could see it. The rest of the league could see it. Hey, Saquon is that guy. You let him walk, not only walk, but let him go for a bag of peanuts to your division rival.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like nothing you could do could make that move worse. And you put all your eggs in a bottomless Daniel Jones basket, who is a dumpster fire of a quarterback.
Yep.
Every time we pick for the week, I pick against the Giants. And my rationale for that is 2 words, Daniel Jones. Because guess what? Here's the messed up part. The Giants defense really isn't that bad.
No, it isn't.
It really isn't that bad.
Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence?
Yeah. It really isn't a bad defense. However, you look at that and you got Daniel Jones just out there hey, I'm gonna get his ball away. Or I'm gonna put the team in a bad way. And it's like, I'm gonna put you right now, they're like let me see, hold on. In points scored, they are 13th. Middle of the pack, points allowed. Middle of the pack, 13th, points allowed.
But if you think about it, it probably wouldn't be that bad if they had a better offense.
15th, top half of the league in yards allowed. Top half of the league in yards and points allowed. And they decided to ride they basically tried to ride Daniel Jones thinking that somehow that this was gonna work.
Well, they try to make it work because of the contract extension they gave him. But now the contract is at a point now where they can cut him. And yeah, you still gonna owe him some money, but it's gonna free up some cap now. And they're gonna start over. They're gonna have to start over. I don't see Daboll being around after this season. So you're looking at drafting another quarterback. The only question is how. The question is how high are you going to be in 2025 and who's available?
And you got to find a coach.
Yeah.
You got to find a coach. And now here's the thing. I don't think Brian Daboll is that bad of a coach.
I really don't think he is either.
I just don't think he had a lot to work with. I don't think he's that bad. I mean, when you trying to race a jackass at the Preakness or the Belmont, you're not going to win. I don't care how well you train him. I don't care what type of high quality oats you feed him. And that's just it. Like that whole stadium, MetLife Stadium should be called Meth Life Stadium because I feel like everybody in charge is smoking meth. Seriously, it's like the dumbest decisions have been made in that facility.
On both sides.
On both sides. It's the Giants, and then what we finna get to next is the Jets. Because, my God, nobody's taking them seriously. Anywhere in the league. The Jets just fired their GM. You fired your coach. You're 1-5 since you fired your coach. 1-5. Ain't hardly won nothing. Aaron Rodgers looks washed. And now you're gonna fire your GM. Like it's his fault.
And the owner said, and the owner said, and there's a rumor that said the owner wants to bench Aaron Rodgers, but the coaching staff went against it because he wanted to put Tyrod Taylor in.
They got a better chance with Tyrod Taylor, not much.
They really do, though. They really do.
Not much, but yeah, they got a better shot with Tyrod Taylor than Aaron Rodgers.
They do.
Aaron Rodgers, first mistake they did was bring him in and let him dictate way too much in that building.
Yes, they did.
Robert Saleh's not a bad coach. Robert Saleh,
He's not.
He's going to wind up getting either a defensive coordinator position next year, or he's going to fool around and jump right back into another head coaching job. And he's not a bad coach. It's that
he's not.
Yeah. And they demoted Nathaniel Hackett, rightfully so, because Nathaniel Hackett, the first 4 letters of his last name is what he really is. He's a hack. But it's just so much upheaval. And who talking about the teams where I feel bad for the guy on the team? Davante Adams. You traded for Davante Adams, and Davante Adams left one dysfunctional house and moved all his stuff
across country
to another.
Like, how many miles is that? How many miles from Vegas to New York? Yeah, Lee.
And guess what? Just a dysfunctional house on the East Coast. Same dysfunctional house, just on the East Coast now.
Lee.
And I'm just like, Davante, bruh. Because let's say go ahead.
I'm sorry. The GM, and I'm gonna throw some more stuff in this mix in a minute too. The GM, despite drafting Zach Wilson and Mekhi Becton, he has done some good drafting because you drafted Garrett Wilson, you drafted Sauce Gardner. The running backs you have are good. So you've done some good drafting. And you drafted a rookie left tackle for the future. The problem is, like I said, Zach Wilson, Mekhi Becton, trade for Aaron Rodgers and let him run the show. But going back to 2021 when drafting Zach Wilson, they had a plan initially, and I know how Steve is about coaches, defensive coaches with young quarterbacks. They really had a plan initially, and the plan was the late Greg Knapp to help develop Zach Wilson, who knows quarterbacks very well.
Yes, yeah, Greg Knapp would have been solid.
But the problem is, unfortunately, Greg Knapp died, and I think in a bicycle accident that same year. So, like, Zach Wilson was drafted late April for the draft, of course. Greg Knapp died in that bike accident about, let's say, within 2 months. Okay? So they had a plan, and I get having a plan, but even after his rookie season, you should have started over and try to get somebody else in there who knows quarterbacks. And they never tried. I don't think they really tried to replace Greg Knapp. And they just really let everything fall apart. So firing the GM, I think, is more deserved than not.
Yeah, I'm on the fence about that.
I'm on the fence too. I'm on the fence too, but I lean more so to yes, because of what I said, because of you didn't try to get a better somebody to help out Zach Wilson, because you drafted because you drafted Zach Wilson, and because you drafted Mekhi Becton, and because you allowed Aaron Rodgers to come in and run the show. He's not a bad GM as far as drafting.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get into. I was about to say, I'm on the fence
but I'm at 51-49. Yes, that's where I'm at. That's how close I am. I'm at 51-49.
And here's the thing with me. My thing is the optics of it is what looks really bad in a season where you have fired your head coach, you demoted your offensive coordinator, and the team is losing badly. You turn around and fire the GM before the season's even out. It's like, what is that gonna do? Like
nothing.
Not around this time. So that's why the Jets. People say the same old Jets. They're really being the same old Jets. So, but I'm gonna tell you.
And they haven't won Super Bowl since 1969. I know Steve was trying to figure it out in our NFL group. They have not won the Super Bowl since the regular season of 69.
And here's the thing. I know that the Jets are the same old Jets because I'm segueing into something else here. There's a team that acted like they wasn't the same old this past week. And that is the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City took an L to the Buffalo Bills. And I know that Buffalo fans diving through tables still right now.
I'm sure they are.
But
something I would never do.
Yeah, I gave up. I know my own air persona is named after a wrestler, but I'm not doing that. But basically, we saw Buffalo beat the Chiefs in a stunner at the end of the game, and we've already talked about it ad nauseum about how Pat Mahomes is not. It probably isn't. No, not probably isn't. He is playing the worst football of his career. This is the worst season of his career statistically, and they still managed to be what 8-1, 9-1, something like that. And I knew that it was coming. I'm like, they're not gonna go undefeated playing like this because eventually
going undefeated in the NFL anyway.
That's the first thing, but also that they've been riding the defense. That Spagnuolo defense for the long. I said eventually somebody's going to find a way to circumvent that Spagnuolo defense, and they're going to lose. And Pat Mahomes is going to have a typical 2024 Pat Mahomes game. And what I mean by that, again, a 2024 Pat Mahomes game is not the same as a 2023 or a 2022 Pat Mahomes game. He's going to throw it to the defense a couple of times. There's going to be some stops made. The referees are on vacation, so they couldn't help him out. And now they've lost the game, and they're no longer, people who do power rankings like us, we only do a top 5, but people do power rankings everywhere was itching, waiting to get Kansas City out of number 1. But they were giving them the benefit of the doubt because it was like, hey, they're the Super Bowl champions. They haven't been beaten yet. They got to stay at number 1. And I know that was my philosophy along with a lot of other analysts. But, my question, Brandon, I'm finna pass it out to you about this situation is, do the Bills have the blueprint to beat the Kansas City Chiefs now? Have they shown the rest of the league a blueprint? Go.
They have, and a lot of teams are going to copy it. A lot of teams are not going to be successful, but a lot of teams are going to have closer games. I wonder if someone even like Denver might have done something. Yes, Denver lost, but they lost off of a blocked field goal.
Yes, sir.
And if I'm a coach, which I am a coach, but I'm not in the NFL, you still got to look at that game tape as well and see what Denver did. When you have losses are not all the same. Okay? If Kansas City had blown out Denver, then no, I wouldn't look at that tape too much. But because the way they lost to Kansas City,
well,
I'll look at that film.
And I'm going to cut in right here on what you're saying because you're a football coach. If you know you got a tough opponent somewhere on your schedule later on, or may have that opponent maybe in the playoffs, and you know that there's a team that was able to beat them because they hadn't lost, maybe they didn't lose anything, they just lost that game, you're automatically going to ask for that game film.
Yeah.
That's logical. Okay, this team beat them. Let's see what they got. Let's get this tape and peruse over this tape. Let's study this tape and see what's going on.
Right.
A lot of it has to do with Josh Allen being Josh Allen. But I do like how the Bills are really starting to, they started last year. They're really starting to get more of a balanced look to them. It's not the
They started when they fired Ken Dorsey's OC.
Yes.
And promoted Joe Brady to be the OC.
Yes. And it's not the Josh Allen show anymore. It's the Bills featuring Josh Allen.
Yeah, there you go.
He's still David Ruffin and they still the Temptations, but it's not just David Ruffin when he went solo and left the Temptations.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it really puts the league on notice with Buffalo. And we're gonna get into that in a minute because we're about to get to our top 5. But it puts the rest of the league on notice of Buffalo, people who have not been paying attention. And it's like, okay, wait a minute now. Buffalo was actually able to dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs in this game. As a matter of fact, did I pick that? Nope, I picked the Chiefs to win that game. So that was one of the ones I was wrong about. I only missed 2 games last week, by the way, my picks. But
is there a power shift in the AFC?
Is there a power shift in the AFC? That's good because that's why I was going next. I think there could be. Nobody's really paying attention to the Denver Broncos because they're sitting right there. I believe they're 5-6 or something like that.
No, they have a winning record.
They're 6-5, I believe.
Yeah, they either 6-5 or 6-4, and the Chargers is right there too in the thick of things in that division.
Right, and like you said before, you just said it. Basically. Yeah, I'm sorry. Denver Broncos are 6-5. I was right. So, like you said before, the Broncos only lost to the Chiefs by a blocked field goal. That means they went toe to toe with the Chiefs.
Right.
It wasn't a boat race. It wasn't a dog walking. They stood in there and played Kansas City hard.
Right.
Which means they have the ability to go into Kansas City and beat them.
Yeah.
So you have that. The Bills have already proven that they can beat Kansas City. Okay, you throw in Baltimore in the mix. Okay. The Chargers are playing really good football right now under Jim Harbaugh. So the AFC is like, oh, God, how could I forget? Nobody's really paying attention to the Steelers. And the Steelers are quietly winning. They beating people. And it's like, oh, the Steelers won. Did the Steelers just? Yes, they did.
Mike Tomlin.
Yes, they did.
Mike Tomlin's the future Hall of Famer.
They are 8-2, and nobody's paying attention to them. It's like, wow, the Steelers are 8-2. The Mahomes and the Chiefs offense cannot play like they did against the Bills this past week when they played the Texans at full strength, week 16, with the addition of Christian Harris. Okay, I ain't even gotten to the Texans yet. I'm gonna be honest, the Texans are the type of team, because they're in this equation, they're in this formula. They're the type of team that they're still babies. Collectively, they're a baby team, and they still, you got them little. You ever seen one of them little toddlers that's about a year and a half old? He walk around with no shirt on, just a diaper, and he can flip the whole kitchen table over. little bitty little boy, but you just strong baby. Don't know his own strength. That's the Houston Texans. They haven't even reached their final form because CJ Stroud hadn't reached his the pinnacle of his playing ability. A lot of these receivers still not where they need to be. The defense is still not where it needs to be. But you have to look at that. So to answer your question in a roundabout way, absolutely there's a power shift in the AFC. Because do I think the Chiefs are going to still be around at the end? Yeah, probably. But are some of these teams are there a lot more teams that can beat them than before? Yes. Unequivocally, yes. There are a lot more teams in the AFC that can beat the Chiefs. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks, cuz. That's my cousin. But there are a lot more teams around the AFC who can threaten and not just show up, oh, we're going to give you a good game. No. We can beat you. We play our game, especially if Pat Mahomes decides to have a bad game, in which he's had several bad games and ain't managed to sneak out of. So let's go to our top 5 for the week, man.
All right, top 5 for the week. Oh yeah, by the way, dang, you know what? I missed out on that. Shoot.
Brandon, we're gonna let you go first. And we're gonna go snake style. It's gonna be me, then you. Then we have Steve and Tristan's picks that we'll read, and we'll do it snake style that way.
All right, let's do that.
All right. So number 5, your number 5 team in the NFL, Brandon. Who would that might that be in your opinion?
Minnesota Vikings.
Okay, he has the Vikings. Fun fact: nobody else has the Vikings on their top 5 at all, out of the rest of us. But go ahead, justify your answer.
Still winning games. Teams are figuring them out, but they're still winning games. I think they might be the second best team in that division. Green Bay is trying to get there, but yeah, I got Minnesota number 5 right now.
Okay. Minnesota's not in my top 5, but they're still in my top 10. I still respect that. Okay. I'd have them down as a definite playoff team, but they're not in my top 5. My top 5 is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
As much as it pains me to say this, because Philadelphia fans, fun fact, NFC East fans, y'all hate each other so much because you're so much alike. That's why y'all hate each other so much. Philadelphia fans are loud, obnoxious, and delusional. However, at this particular point, at this juncture, they are the 5th best team in the league, and right now they're the best team in the division. I think the Commanders are right behind them. I have the Commanders in my top 10, but not in my top 5. They still got some growing to do, but they're doing a phenomenal job this season. And I have the Eagles, and I hate giving them any kind of props. Just not the team itself, their fans. So Steve also has the Eagles. I know that really hurt him to put that there. And so does Tristan. So myself, Steve, and Tristan had the Eagles as the number 5 team in the league. I think for the same reason that defense is starting to gel under Vic Fangio. Those 2 young corners, Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell.
Yeah.
That's the future. Nakobe Dean's actually staying healthy at linebacker, so he's making plays now. So we're starting to see the strength of that defense make up for the ineptitudes. I know you're going to say Jalen Hurts is a running back playing Wildcat quarterback. You're absolutely right. I still don't disagree with you on that. However, the defense is starting to play well enough that they can be the big eraser for the ineptitude or the bad plays that the offense might screw up on.
Actually,
also, he can actually turn around and hand it to Saquon Barkley. And
I was just going to say that Saquon Barkley is also erasing a lot of that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
It's so Saquon Barkley and that defense carrying that team.
Absolutely. So let me see. So Tristan, we're going back the other way. Tristan, for his number 4 team, has the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow. Big drop.
4, huge drop from 1 to 4 last week. And I can kind of see why. Because let's be honest, all 4 of us was itching to drop them. For the last few weeks, we've been itching to drop them.
Well, actually, I dropped them last week, remember?
Yeah, you did drop them. You was a little early with it. We was like, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt until they lose a game. And what happened? They lost a game. So Tristan has them at his number 14. Steve has the Pittsburgh Steelers as his number 14. As do I. And what like we talked about, they're quietly winning a bunch of games. Running game's working. The defense is playing out of their minds right now in Pittsburgh. I wouldn't want to see that defense. I would just be honest. I just wouldn't want to have to deal or I just wouldn't want to deal with that defense right now. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're number 2 in points allowed. Yeah, they're number 2 in points allowed. They're number 5 in yards allowed.
Okay.
Team defense. And that's like, yeah, man, that's we're like, we're gonna give you yards, but you ain't gonna score. That's pretty much that's the attitude, you know. And to say that they went out there and won a game without scoring a touchdown. If you go out and win a game without scoring a touchdown, that is all defense. That's all defense. Hey man, that defense. And the funny thing was last week, you remember y'all raised the eyebrow when I said I think that I think the Steelers were gonna win against where I put it. I had picked the Steelers last week. And,
was it beat Baltimore?
Yeah. I'm looking for it now. Yeah. Steelers over the Ravens. I picked the Steelers over the Ravens last week. I said, you know what? They got it's an it thing that they got going on right now. And they're it. And they're rolling. And they could be one of those teams that they play this really grimy, gritty type of football where they could beat some teams that, quote unquote, they're not supposed to beat. You know. So, Brandon, who's your number 4?
I got Pittsburgh as well.
Okay.
Mike Tomlin's a future Hall of Fame head coach. Enough said.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. I have as my number 3 team, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. That's my number 3 team. I bumped them down 2 spots. If you could use a process of elimination, by now you probably can guess who my 1 and 2 are. But yeah, they haven't been playing really strong football outside of the defense. They haven't been playing great football. Not what we will refer to within the last 3 years as Chiefs football.
No, not at all.
They haven't been doing that. They've been winning, but it's like, ugh. It's one of those type of wins. Like, ugh. It's not like, oh, the Chiefs about to come in here and do this to y'all. It's not that anymore. It's okay, they won, but ugh. That's literally how they've been winning games. So, yeah, I had him down in my number 3 until further notice. Steve also has the Chiefs as his number 3. And Tristan has the Steelers as his number 3 team over the Chiefs. saying that he believes that probably the Steelers could beat the Chiefs if they met, and I tend to agree with him a little bit.
I'm not against it.
Yeah,
I'm not against it.
All right, so number 3, Brandon.
I dropped Kansas City down one spot to number 3.
Okay, so Chiefs at number 3.
Enough said.
Yo,
you said it all.
Yo, all right. So Steve, for his number 2 team, watch this. Wait for it. Has the Detroit Lions as his number 2 team. I'm like, what? What? Yeah, my number 2 team is the Bills, but he chose the Lions as his number 2 team. I just don't get that. I understand that the Bills beat the Chiefs and they deserve to be moved up, but yeah, I don't see a team right now in the NFL that's playing better, more complimentary football than the Detroit Lions. They are a menace. They are a whole problem to the other 31 teams in this league. Because when they see, in college football, you talk about style points when you're trying to be ranked. They got style points because when they see a team that ain't about nothing, they show them, hey, y'all ain't about nothing, and we about to show you ain't about nothing. We about to hang this 40, 50 points on you right quick. We about to let you know that you don't even deserve to be on the field with us. That it's not just winning your games, but it's how they're winning their games. But he has him as number 2. I have the Bills as my number 2 team. Simply because they beat the Chiefs and they've just been playing really complimentary football, but they're just not as explosive or frightening as Detroit is. They're good. They're just not as frightening. Brandon, you're number 2.
I too have Buffalo for the same reasons. I can't put, and well, obviously my number 1 is Detroit, but I just can't put no one in front of Detroit. Like that to me was a huge shocker. Okay. That was a huge shocker. No, I get it. I get it. Buffalo beat the Super Bowl champs, the back-to-back Super Bowl champs 3 times in 4 years. I get all that.
I can't get excited about it because
what? I can't get excited about it.
Because and then, Buffalo like I said, does that. They do
Detroit is. I need to look. I get it, but I need to see. I know where you're going. I need to see more from Buffalo when it comes to the playoffs.
And yeah, it's the fact that they won. Yes. They took an undefeated team. They knocked them off. But this is what Buffalo does. Buffalo beats Kansas City in the regular season, and then goes to the playoffs. And it's like, we forgot how to play football.
That's why I just said they need to show me more in the playoffs.
And that's my thing. Now, if they get in the playoffs and they do the same thing to Kansas City, I'm like, ooh, okay. Outstanding. But, yeah, my number 1 is the Lions, and Tristan, and I know you had the Lions because, again, the Lions are playing such convincing football.
I can't see nobody beating them. I can't see nobody beating them.
Yeah, on both sides of the ball, they're playing.
Now
they're mean, they're nasty, they're making people quit.
Now they are having some injuries now. They're starting to creep up on defense. Not just Aiden Hutchinson. I saw a linebacker injured. I don't know how much time he's supposed to miss. And I think I saw a DB injured too. I forgot who it was. But they do have a couple injuries on defense, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm not putting anybody over Detroit right now until further notice. Like Buffalo's going to have to go in Detroit and beat Detroit convincingly for me to put Buffalo.
Are they going to have to just go off and beat another really, really good? Like Buffalo would have to play somebody like Baltimore or something like that, and like
not even Baltimore because Baltimore, like I respect Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry to death, but I feel like it's not much more outside of that. And Roquan Smith just got hurt, so their defense is going to take another hit.
Oh, thank you for telling me that because I have Roquan Smith on my fantasy team. Okay, yeah, I just the way it's not just that the Lions are winning; it's how they're winning in convincing fashion. They're dominating people.
Thank you.
They're not just walking in and shoving you. They're walking in, they're hitting you with a folding chair, and they stomping you out in the corner of the ring against the turnbuckle and daring you to get up.
Does Buffalo play Pittsburgh?
Say again?
Does Buffalo play Pittsburgh?
I am not sure.
Let me see.
Schedules. Bear with us, folks. We're looking at schedules.
Oh, so, hold on. Shoot, go back. I thought I saw something. No, they don't.
So they wouldn't meet until the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just wanting Buffalo play Pittsburgh because, I think okay, that might be who it is. It might be Brian Branch. Thanks. Thank you, Prolific Rambo.
Yeah,
it might be Brian Branch. It might be Brian Branch.
He's a game changer.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a game changer. He's a big time game changer, and we'll have to see. We'll check the injury reports after the fact. But I just the way the Lions are playing, they are so dominant right now. Like I said, you'll see teams that are like got winning records, and then they'll play really, really bad teams like Jacksonville, and they'll go out, beat them by 14 points, something like that. They out here like, hey man, you suck, and we're gonna show the world that you suck, and we're that much better than you. That's how they come into the stadium and play people, and it's like, oh my god. Hey, it's like I feel like your boy on Rocky IV. Throw the towel. Throw the damn towel. Or somebody get killed. So, yeah, I have Lions as my number one, but Steve has the Bills as his number one team in the NFL.
Nah. Sorry, Steve.
Yep.
Steve, you my boy, man. 31 years strong, baby, but no. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't agree with that. I'm sorry. I'm like, the Bills deserve that recognition of being that number 2 team because they knocked off number 1. But right now, the Lions have always been that number 2 team, and we were sitting there waiting for Kansas City to lose, and we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming because of how they've been playing all season. It's like they're gonna fool around and lose.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it last week. If they're gonna lose, this is one of the weeks to do it. This is gonna be one of the weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. So and sure enough, So let's get to Pando's picks. All right. So the Steelers travel to Cleveland to play the Browns.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't see them losing this game.
Stone Cold Lock.
They're kind of dysfunctional. Jameis is trying to do what he can, but against that defense, no sir. This could be another. Could be. Huh? Go ahead.
There's an offensive tackle injured for Cleveland named DeJuan Jones.
And TJ Watt's on the other side.
And Preston Smith.
And Preston Smith. Pick your poison. Mm-hmm. James is gonna have a long day.
Yep, sure is.
Yeah, so we might see some interceptions, some sack fumbles, strip sacks, scooping scores. You can see that. Mm-hmm. I got the Steelers winning this game going away. It's not my Stone Cold Lock, but I got the Steelers going away.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
No, it's not. Next game, the Titans travel. They come on down to 6-10 to play the Houston Texans. I think DeMeco Ryans is going to basically wrangle them in and get them together because the game against the Cowboys last week was sloppy as all get out. The Texans looked extremely sloppy. They clearly were the more dominant team and won by 24 points, but it should have been way worse. And I think DeMeco Ryans and Bobby Slowick recognize that. They're going to have them ready to play the Titans. We could see a straight-up ass beating in this game. I'm going to just be real with you. We could see
Stone Cold Lock?
That's not my Stone Cold Lock. But we could see an ass beating or just put Texas are going to win this game. But we could, if CJ Stroud really gets his feet under him, like he could, and they account for the injuries along the offensive line in Houston, more rollouts, boots, stuff like that, and allow CJ Stroud to throw on the run, this could get out of hand. It could. So give me the Texans over the Titans. This next one is a pick 'em. This could go either way. The Vikings are at the Bears. This makes sense. This is a really hard one to pick, and here's why.
Division game.
It's a divisional game, number one. Yep. Number two, both teams have very good defenses.
Yep.
Number three, both teams have quarterbacks who can make plays but also do really stupid stuff.
Yep.
There you go. That's why it's hard to pick a winner in this game. I'm going to go ahead and go with the points, and I'm going to take the Bears in this game. But I'm telling you right now, it would not be a shock if the Vikings pull this off. Okay. The Bears have a championship-level defense, so do the Vikings. But again, both of them have quarterbacks that are like hey man, what you doing? And then the very next play, dang, that was a nice throw. So you just don't know they literally both quarterbacks are a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're gonna get. So, but I'm gonna go with the Bears for now.
Boys go.
Because they're the home team. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bears because they're at home. The weather could be kind of nasty, and Minnesota's a dome team. That's the only reason I'm taking the Bears because they're literally what and what at this point. As far as definitely is because of defense. Cowboys come to the DMV to play the Washington Commanders. I don't think the Cowboys defense is going to be able to hang with everything that Washington has offensively to offer. Now, could the Cowboys do some more scoring? I believe so. Washington's defense is gradually getting better. They're gradually getting better. So they're not there yet, but they're gradually getting better. They should be good enough to give Cooper Rush hell. And should they put Trey Lance in, really give him the business? I'm looking for the Commanders to get a couple of turnovers. And I'm also looking for them to a heavy dose of Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson. Because again, the Cowboys are 31st against the run. How could you not? I'm sorry. I'm going to be on the sideline. Who else want to run the ball? If I'm playing a team that's 31st against the run, I'm going to start with my horses, and then I'm going, guys that don't normally get to play are going to get carries. That's what I would do. So I like the Commanders to win this one. Next game, this is the Patriots at the Dolphins. This is a head scratcher because Tua Tagovailoa keep trying to take himself out every game, and the Patriots defense is kind of like, they're not great, but they'll hit you. I don't think the Pats are going to be able to contain all that speed. I just don't think they can corral in all that speed that the Dolphins have. I think Mike McDaniel. Funny thing about Mike McDaniel, you ever notice how he looked now as opposed to when he first got in Miami? He literally looked like he worked for the cartels. Like, that dude looked like he get high on his own supply. Mike McDaniel, next time they interview Mike McDaniel, look at him. He be having them sunglasses and his hair be all greasy and stuff. Anyway, I digress.
But you know what? I will say this. Both teams are
trash, 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 trash.
Okay. Yeah, but I got the Dolphins over the Patriots on this one.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots beat them, though. I really wouldn't.
I would not be shocked either.
Because Drake May been hot lately.
Drake May's been playing well, but I'm going with the Dolphins. I'm gonna stick with that.
Okay, that's fine.
But it wouldn't be shocking. Like, other than the Steelers definitely beating the Browns, Texas definitely beating the Titans, and Commanders definitely beating the Cowboys, but Bears and Dolphins winning their games, if they went the other way, it's not shocking.
Right.
It's not shocking. The next one is my Stone Cold Lock of the Week. All right. The Chiefs are going to Carolina, and they're going to beat the brakes off the Panthers. There's no way the Panthers can win this game. The Chiefs are salty for losing.
Why is this game on TV? Why is this game on the schedule?
All of them on TV, all of them on the schedule. That's one of them games. Go get you something. Flip to another game. The Chiefs are gonna beat the brakes off of them. They salty for losing to Buffalo, so they're gonna come out extra focused, and they are going to. Here's the thing, Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes and all y'all. Here's the thing: if you happen to stumble upon this podcast and see what I'm about to say about your team, if you're gonna prove yourself to be dominant when you play a weaker team, you're supposed to crush them. If the Chiefs do not beat the Panthers by at least 30 or more points, I'm going to raise an eyebrow. They're going to win it. They're going to win it, but it needs to be a 30-point beatdown or more.
I agree. It
needs to be. If you want to reestablish yourself, hey, we still them dudes. If we still them, if you want to say that, you're going to have to beat a team like the Panthers by at least 30 points or more to convince me to say, you know what, the Chiefs still good. They just kind of had a bad game against the Bills. That's what's going to take me to say that. Now, you go out down there and you beat the Panthers 17-10 or something like that, I'm going to raise an eyebrow. I'm going to look at you sideways. I'm serious. All right, moving on. Give me the Broncos over the Raiders.
Oh yeah,
Broncos are going to increase to 7-5 and
matter of fact,
yeah.
Let me tell you what happened. One of my teams on defense is on a bye week, so I needed a defense because I was not going to rely on Dallas's defense versus Washington.
Yeah, I would do.
So that. I dropped Dallas's defense and I added Denver's defense against the Raiders.
Yeah, I would quietly. Denver has a very good defense. Nobody's really paying attention to that.
Nope, not at all.
Nobody's really looking at it. And it's like, y'all don't see how good that defense is playing. Y'all not paying attention. And they're playing really good defense. Bo Nix is managing the game well. They're not asking him to do anything out of the ordinary or crazy.
300 yards, 4 touchdowns. The first Broncos quarterbacks to do it since 2016.
Yeah, so
and it wasn't Peyton Manning.
In points allowed, Denver is number 6 in the league in points allowed defensively.
There you go.
Nobody's paying attention to that. It's like y'all don't. Hey, they defense good. They number 9 in yards allowed.
They discipline.
Top 10 defense. Top 10 defense.
Discipline.
So, and then Bo Nix is being a game manager, which is what you want your rookie quarterback to do. You shouldn't have to ask him to win the game for you. Just go out there, take the plays that are given to you. And he's doing that. The Raiders, I feel really bad for Antonio Pierce. He's probably not going to be back next year. But again, that's another franchise that's dysfunctional as all get out. They just don't make the right moves and do the right things, and that's just what they are. So yeah, give me the Broncos over the Raiders. Give me the Bucks over the Giants.
Yeah,
probably. I'm looking at a 3 to 6 point game. Mike Evans is coming back though for Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
So let me change my mind on that. I think I want the Bucks. I think the Bucks will win by more than just 3 to 6 points. Because Mike Evans is gonna make the difference. They could win by 2 scores, but the Bucks over the Giants. The Lions travel to Indianapolis, Lucas Oil Stadium to play the Colts. I don't care who hurt for the Lions; they're gonna win that game. Anthony Richardson ain't seen a machine like this year.
Nope,
he has not. And he's in for a world of hurt. The Lions are going to go in and beat the Colts. There's not a whole lot to talk about that. This game here, the team that I think is going to win, just going by my analysis, I don't want them to win, but they're going to, and that's the Cardinals are going to beat the Seahawks. They're going to go to Seattle and win that game, and I need the Cardinals to lose.
The Cardinals under this coaching staff has gotten better. They're making things work for Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray actually put the joystick down. That's part of it. But
and so honestly, let me say this too. Right now, while both are hot, I think Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury both learned their lesson from being together in Arizona. Right now, Cliff Kingsbury's looking good in Washington. Right now, Kyler Murray's still looking good in Arizona. But I think they both learned from mistakes in Arizona. And that's right now. We'll see what things look like moving forward.
Exactly.
But right now, while it's hot, I'm saying it.
Yeah. I'm gonna just finish up that part with this. The entire NFC West is mediocre. And that's just period. From the Cardinals all the way down. The mediocrity is through the roof. So yeah, there's only gonna be one team coming out of that division.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And they're probably going home in the wild card round, more than likely. Whoever wins this division is probably gonna lose the first round of the playoffs. You got the teams that weren't good that are better. You got the team that was great that kind of fell back a little bit because of injuries, and it's Kyle Shanahan's fault. But the mediocrity is running rampant through the NFC West. So it kind of is like watching, great value peanut butter and great value jelly. It's a game. You can live on it, but it's not, it's not filet mignon. So the Cardinals over the Seahawks. The next game, the Niners travel to Lambeau Field to play the Packers, and they will be losing that game. Brock Purdy did not throw a pass today in practice. He has a sore shoulder from the last game. Nick Bosa has an oblique and a rib injury, so he will not be able to chase Jordan Love around. Devondre Campbell is a trash bag with a 5 and a 9 on it. It's a red trash bag with a 5 and a 9. That's Devondre Campbell. That's the other linebacker. Dre Greenlaw will not be back until the season's already gone and lost. And this is the beginning of the season falling apart. Well, actually, last week was, but I just don't see the Niners winning this game unless something miraculous happens. Unless they go on a run like they did that year they went to the NFC Championship and lost. I don't see that run coming. There's still too many injuries, and there's still too much inept coaching. At least the 49ers had a strong enough defense to make that run in the past. They do not have that. You got a rookie defensive coordinator who's not doing a terrible job, but he's not great either. And you need a great defense if you're going to try to threaten. So I got the Packers over the Niners. I got the Eagles over the Rams.
Yep.
That young cornerback tandem in Philadelphia is going to probably shut down Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. And when I say shut down, I mean they're still going to get their catches. They're that good. They're going to get their catches, but they're not going to be as much of a threat as they have been. I don't even know if Nacua is going to play. I think Nacua is hurt. Give me the Ravens over the Chargers. This is a pick 'em.
Whoa, you got the Ravens over the Chargers?
This is a pick 'em. I got the Ravens over the Chargers.
I understand that.
However, we know what Jim Harbaugh can do. This is the Harbaugh Bowl.
It is.
So we know what Jim. This is one of them ones that the Chargers win this game. I am not going to be shocked.
I got the Chargers beating the Ravens.
Yeah. This is one of them
ones. It actually could be by 5 points or more.
This is a must watch. This is a must watch. Definitely a must watch. If there's any game you watch this weekend, folks, you need to pay attention to the Ravens and the Chargers. Yeah, that's going to be all your good games. There aren't really, Vikings and Bears. Ravens and Chargers, Vikings and Bears. Those are going to be good games. Everything else is kind of like, But if you're just a football junkie like we are, we're just fans. We're just fans. We love to talk about football. Then you're going to try to watch a little bit of all of them. But the must-watch games is definitely the Ravens and the Chargers and the Vikings and the Bears. I recommend those two.
Okay.
But those are my picks. To recap, Steelers over Browns, Texans over Titans, Bears over Vikings, Commanders over Cowboys, Finns over Pats, Chiefs over Panthers, Stone Cold Lock. Broncos over Raiders, Cardinals over Seahawks, Packers over Niners, Eagles over Rams, Ravens over Chargers, Bucks over Giants, and Lions over Colts. Let's have a benediction.
All right. There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that's been another week of Just a Fan Podcast. We are live on YouTube, so please, like I said earlier in the show, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification to all so that way you know when we go live every week. Facebook side, we're live. Hit the like button or the love button. Share as well. Okay, please.
I just want to say this, April, the Panthers are bad. You just have to accept it. They're bad. They're very, very bad. It's okay.
And whose fault is it?
It's Kyle Shanahan's fault. Somehow, some way. It's Kyle Shanahan's fault.
There you go. Because Kyle Shanahan traded for Christian McCaffrey. That's why it's his fault.
Yep.
So, and then we're live on Twitch. If you're able to like it and share and subscribe it, please do so as well on Twitch. You can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, IG, and Facebook. You can listen to us on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Okay? So, that direction. Panel 316, reminding everybody that no matter what happens, traffic, flat tire,
it's Kyle Shanahan's fault.
Spilled coffee, thunderstorms, snow, ice, whatever.
It's Kyle Shanahan.
If someone is sick in your family,
that's Kyle Shanahan. If you go fishing and you hook the biggest fish that you ever hooked in your life, and that fish get right up to the boat and break off and swim away, it's Kyle Shanahan's fault.
If your bed breaks, Kyle Shanahan's fault.
He did it.
There you go.
He did it.
There you go. Me, I'm Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia. I'm reminding everybody to write "break on my brick." Why? Because my Cowboys are picking 9th overall in the draft.
For now.
And the price of the brick is going to continue to go up. So remember, write "break on my brick." All right. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Peace.